Hello YouTube, Wes here checking in with a brand new episode of the Vinyl Survivor. I believe we're on episode number 131, trying to get through some of these, try to get them posted so I can get these records filed away back in the collection here because they're starting to build up, the ones I've listened to that haven't yet shown on video. So let's go ahead and get into this one. First off, we got an album here by Frank Zappa and the Mothers. This is titled, or Frank Zappa, Captain Beefheart and the Mothers, Bongo Fury. 1975 is the date on this one. Again, really cool music with weird, wacky, comedic lyrics. Typical Zappa stuff. I'm not the biggest Zappa fan, but I do enjoy listening to him from time to time. And this was a fun listen. Again, very good musically. It's got Frank Zappa and Captain Beefheart and the Mothers all together. I believe some of this is live and some of it is not. I'm not sure exactly how the split goes on this. Discreet Records. All right, next up is a classic. It's the Sex Pistols with Nevermind the Bollocks. 1977, the year I was born. Yeah, if you watch my channel, you know that I don't like loud, screamy kind of stuff, and that's what this is. And I gave it a serious try. I wanted to like it, but in the end, I can't get into this stuff. Just it's too much for me. But I'm glad I got a chance to listen to it. I can say I've heard it, and I say it's just not for me. Just fine. Sort of printed insert there, and there is the album itself. Yeah, unfortunately, Sex Pistols, not for me. This one's going to be ending up in my Discogs store, and maybe I can turn it into something I do like. So that's the plan with that one. All right, next up, a Canadian band that I do love, and that is the band Stars. This is their album Five Ghosts. 2010 was the original release date of this one, even though I didn't pick this one up until last year. Stars are kind of a big indie rock group, Canadian indie rock group. I hate comparing bands, but think of Arcade Fire, but they're not the same as Arcade Fire. They have their own sound. They're unique in their own way, but it's got that sort of big indie rock band kind of sound where you're going to get a lot of different things going on. You're going to get some synthesizer stuff. You're going to get some traditional instruments, lots of traditional instruments, lots of different sounds and stuff mixed together. A lot of variety when it comes to the songs. Yeah, did love this album. Another great one from them. Slowly collecting all the Stars albums, and this one does have lyrics on the original inner sleeve. Pinkish inside there. There's the album itself on Soft Revolution Records. They've changed labels a few times now. So yeah, that's Stars with the Five Ghosts. Gets a thumbs up from me going in the collection. All right, next thing we have to talk about tonight is an album by Montrose, self-titled. 1975 is the date on this one. Good sort of mid-70s hard rock kind of stuff here. Definitely enjoyed this one. I'm going to be keeping this one. That's on the Warner Palm Tree label. All right, next thing I have to talk about is The Tubes, self-titled. 1975 once again. I bought a whole bunch at Goodwill at once that came from the same collection. They were all right around 75, so right in that mid-70s era. So that's where a lot of these came from. There's a A&M label on that one. The Tubes are more of a pop rock kind of group. And yeah, I liked it. It's been a while since I heard that, so I can't really say much about it, but I know I liked it. All right, next up we have a test record from Hi-Fi Stereo Review. These are always fun to listen to and, play along and see how your sound system is. And I think mine passed pretty well. Handled all these tests they put on here pretty well, I think. So it was a fun listen to and something to keep around just to test out systems and test out new turntables and new gear and stuff. So yeah, glad I picked that one up. There's the vinyl on that one. Of course, being a hi-fi test record kind of thing, very nicely pressed. Really nice, clean, flat, pure looking vinyl, very shiny and flat. All right, next up is another from that batch of pickups I got from Goodwill. This was just sort of in with the other one, so I thought, I like some of these other groups, I'll give these guys a try. And that is the Inmates with their album First Offense. 1979 is the date on this one, so a little bit later on than the other stuff. The Inmates turned out to be sort of a, I don't really want to call it rockabilly, but it definitely has sort of a throwback 50s kind of sound to it. Geez, I don't even know how to place them, but they're definitely sort of a throwback 50s kind of rock and roll sound. Didn't really care for this one at all, unfortunately. Just not my cup of tea. But you know, it's fun to just listen to some of this stuff and know what it is. And now I know, I know what the Inmates sound like. So if anybody ever references them, or and there's the vinyl on Polydor Records. Clean find there. Next up, one of the excellent finds from that batch of records from Goodwill. You don't normally find stuff this good at Goodwill, but once in a while you find something really good, and this is definitely one of them. Devo, Are We Not Men? We Are Devo. Classic album from Devo, and yeah, awesome. Really cool to find this in a thrift store. It's coming unglued a little bit at the top, but I'm not complaining. There's the insert, which I don't think I looked at too much. Looked that over more closely. Pretty cool. And then there's the album itself. Warner Brothers Records. I don't think I said the date. 78 is the date on this album. Cool. So the Devo were, yeah, they were a really interesting group. They were definitely ahead of their time, and yeah, really interesting group. Before I really got serious into music, I only really knew, Whip It and stuff like that. I really didn't really know much about the group. I just sort of saw them as the Whip It group. But yeah, really cool group, and I'm really glad to be able to hear the full-length albums on their music, and it's pretty cool. So definitely glad to add that one to the collection. All right, next up we have the Ramones with Leave Home. I believe this is later. 77 is the date on this one. Again, sort of loud, thrashy, punk kind of stuff here. I was kind of just not feeling this one at all. I've heard some Ramones stuff that I think is okay, but this one in particular just didn't do much for me. So this one's not staying in the collection. There's the original inner sleeve, lyrics on it. And that one's on Sire Records. So yeah, the Ramones, Leave Home. Again, glad I got the chance to hear it, but something that's just not for me. All right, and lastly, we're going to close this one out with a little bit of hip hop here. We have LL Cool J with The Greatest of All Time. Released this one in 2000. Yeah, definitely getting out of his prime at this point as far as a rapper goes, but I still have love for LL, and there's some good rhymes on here. Yeah, so that was a nice pickup. I'll go ahead and show this 2LP set on Def Jam, of course. It's been with them from the beginning. He's the first artist signed to Def Jam. So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of the Vinyl Survivor. Hope you enjoyed it. I think 8 survived, 2 didn't. So pretty good episode, pretty solid stuff. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, great night. Subscribe if you aren't already. Tell a friend, and we'll see you again real soon. Cheers.